Hello everybody, Timtra here with a really quick video. I recently created this channel, Timtra After Dark, as a place for me to post some content that doesn't exactly fit with the theme of my main channel. I made these 3 videos on Star Wars Visions quite a while ago, and I figured it would be good to combine them all into one video and just post it here for anyone who happens to stop by. Hope you enjoy! Hello everyone, I'm Timtra, and today we're going to be watching and talking about Star Wars Visions. I'm joined by my good friend Ben, also known as White Beans. Care to say a few words, Ben?
My name's Jeff, actually, but, otherwise, good intro. Well done.
He was Jeff the whole time. So, if you guys don't know what Star Wars Visions is, it's a bunch of shorts by Japanese animation studios that put a new spin on Star Wars from a Japanese anime type perspective. It's very much along the same lines as The Animatrix or Halo Legends, if anybody has seen those shows.
The first time I'm hearing that this is going to be a Japanese spin on Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I know absolutely nothing about Star Wars Visions. I've been completely spoiler free. So, if this is taking an anime spin, that'll be interesting. I wonder what Jar Jar Binks' stand would do. All right, sorry.
He's the Sith Lord stand.
Yeah.
So I've already seen these, but Ben hasn't, so we're going to watch them together, and then after each episode, come back to talk about them. And at the end, I think we're going to make a tier list or just round up our general thoughts on the series. This video is probably going to be cut into 2 to 3 parts, split between our channels, so at the end of each part and in the descriptions, we're going to put links to the next video for you guys to follow along. Alright, Ben, you ready to get into the first episode? It's The Duel. Or let's just get into it, who cares?
Let's just get into it.
Let's just get right into the news.
Let's just get right into the news. True. Does the droid have like a rice field hat?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Run for cover!
Hide behind the cubes from Portal.
Dude, that's the same thing I thought when I first saw this.
This is like a real, like, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen an animation style that looks quite like this. It's like all black and white, except for like some key things being in color. Like, I think that's really, like, it's artistically, I think, very brave, and I think it paid off. I liked it. But not
What do you think of that?
interesting.
Interesting?
Interesting.
It's not canon. This is not canon, by the way, so don't worry.
I'll try spinning, that's a good trick. Oh, I love the thematic like nod to Duel of the Fates there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're literally just doing Duel of the Fates, like instrumentation and everything, just like a different melody. That's actually sick.
I didn't realize that at first.
Oh, and then there's the fucking vocals too! That's actually sick. Whoever does the music for this has my respect.
Don't the lives of the women and children of the village matter to you?
This guy just hates women. So he's like, fuck no.
He's a gamer.
He's a gamer. Oh, is he gonna pull an Anakin?
That would be awesome, but...
Oh. Oh shit, he's like Grievous, but for Sith. Tatooine Rhapsody.
Oh. Alright, oh no,
Is this just Tatooine?
You're gonna not like the episode, trust me. I've got a lot of, no, that's like... Yeah, it's one of the, no, it's just one of the lower points, I'm just gonna say that. So,
Okay.
What did you say, what do you think about The Duel?
One thing that I really liked about that episode is I thought that the animation style was very, very creative. So maybe this is just like my limited experience with different kinds of media, or especially Japanese media, but I've never like seen any sort of animation style that looks quite like that, with the black and white and then like some important elements being like highlighted in color. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was very brave too, because I think it's like a very different, again, perhaps just my ignorance speaking, but very different from a lot of animation styles. And I think it paid off really well.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to being brave, definitely, because like somebody who's even like more skeptical of anime, like seeing this as their first thing, it could potentially turn them off, but it also could be like super interesting and get them into it, right? So, I think I think everybody I've seen like talking about this, they've thought it was really cool, so I think it did pay off in the end. I will say, in regards to the animation style, I did some research before this, and you know the studio who made this is the same one that did the CGI intros for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So like parts 1, 2, and 3.
Okay,
So,
well,
does that make? Do you see that now? Like I saw that this afternoon, and I was like, holy shit, that makes sense.
I still think the Battle Tendency intro is one of the best like animated like sequences. Just I think it's so great. So that's of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, this is also going to be great then. I really liked, musically speaking, the Duel of the Fates callback. The fact that it wasn't like exactly Duel of the Fates, and what I think it was Solo did that, right? When Maul showed up on screen, they like
I
played
think
Duel
so.
of the Fates,
A little bit.
which
Like
was
a little
like, yeah, it was like fine, I guess. It was just like, it was a bit fan servicey. Not that I necessarily have anything wrong with that, but it was really cool to see characters that haven't earned Duel of the Fates be played something that is like Duel of the Fates but isn't Duel of the Fates. So the instrumentation was the same with the voices and the strings and the winds, and it was just I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, and also we can also be like a little bit less critical, I feel, because it's not canon, so we don't have to be like they didn't earn this or like why is this being, you know, it's like it's just more like creative than trying to like, it doesn't need to like necessarily like aspire, you know, have to like reach certain things. Like for example in Rise of, like in the sequel trilogy, we'd be like, why is Rey more powerful than Luke with no training, right? Like we don't have to have that same level of criticism, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that the musical stuff, whoever did the music for this did an excellent job.
Yeah, you made a comment, it was like The Witcher, right?
Yeah. There was one part where it sounded a lot like, if you played The Witcher 3, the combat music from The Witcher 3, it sounded like it.
Yeah, like steel is for humans, silver is for wolves. Oh, those are great soundtracks.
Yeah.
I mean, silver is for monsters.
Yeah, I think that's it. It.
No,
and then, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, what did you think about like the ending, where it seems like he's more of a Sith hunter or something?
I thought that was really cool. So I said during the episode, this is like General Grievous, but for Sith, right? He collects the like Kyber crystals from each of the Sith lightsabers. I think that's pretty cool. If you were to explain the episode without like showing it to someone, it would sound very cliche, right? Sort of like a lone swordsman come in and like defend the village from invaders, and then like shows a soft spot for like a village youth and like gives them part of the spoils of his like adventure. But like I think so what, right?
Yeah, it's been done in Star Wars so many times. Like somebody comes and defends this village. Like it happens like 6 times in Clone Wars, in Mandalorian. Like, but it's a tried and true thing, and for like a little short, fun. You know.
No, exactly. It's fun. I like it. One more comment I want to make. Pretty sure I saw Sebulba in that episode. Okay, we can go back to the tapes, but Sebulba from the Phantom Menace, the pod race guy.
Let me look up Sebulba and see if I can bring him up here for.
And I don't think I've seen Sebulba, like anybody of Sebulba's species. I don't know what his species is. I don't think you've seen anyone from his species anywhere in Star Wars other than that until right now. So I don't know. Maybe I'm like misremembering and he shows up a lot, but.
Wait, is it this guy? Wait, okay, let me switch my screens here again. Is it this guy? Oh wait, you wouldn't be able to see it, but...
No, I can't. I can only see your face right now.
Oh shit, well. Alright. Well, we'll just cut this part out. Yeah,
it's the guy that you're looking at though, I'm pretty sure.
I'll send you
He's
the
like
link.
A purple lanky dude. With like goggles on.
We'll save that for the edit, I guess.
All right.
So you excited for episode 2? I gotta say, this is it's not great.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think that but it's not episodic, right? So this doesn't continue that story. It's a different story.
It's like anthology. It's just like anything they came up with type stuff, right?
Tatooine Rhapsody.
Let's get right into it. Let's get right into the news.
Ooh, very different animation style already. Wait, what?
You are a
What?
I hate my life. I really don't like this art style. Like how everybody looks like a kid.
Yeah. Oh, I assume this guy was a kid.
Well, you can't really know because Boba Fett also is like the same height as him, but he's obviously not.
They're like chibi. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
That's a cool shot, though. Credit where credit is due. With the slave one across the field there.
I know that, but I can't.
Yeah, I hate this.
I know, right? It's like that.
It's still better than Rise of Skywalker, though. I can't even lie.
Well, I mean, very low bar.
If I went into the theaters and it was just like 2 hours of this during Rise of Skywalker, I would have walked way less pissed. I'm gonna be honest.
You were right, Chris.
This is the worst one. Trust me. It's not. It's gonna get better.
No, it's okay. I hope it's
Just
all
a
like
band.
this. This is fucking hilarious.
Just a band. So let us perform before he executes you.
Oh,
So we did the job.
is the rest of the episode just a song?
It's yeah. I think so.
I need to grab some water. I think now's a good time. We'll be right back.
Fuck you. Why are you making me
Don't worry.
survive through this?
We can talk about this one. Not a whole lot to talk about, I don't think.
No, just very cringe.
I mean-
very cringe. The best part was the first 5 seconds where it showed the Clone Wars, and there was all those dead clones. Literally, the first part was the
when you were
best.
like this one sucks, then it started. It was like, oh shit, it's like a clone. This one doesn't seem like it'll suck, and then yeah. it changed.
Holy shit! What did you think
Um,
about the music, Ben?
I liked the music in the last one better. I'll be honest. I
Yeah?
will. So yeah, I had a lot of nice things to say about the music last time. I guess this is a zero-sum game because it sounded like the music that would be in like a Sonic game, and not one of the good ones either. Like Sonic 06 or maybe Sonic Unleashed or something.
Yeah.
You know.
This sounds like something that my mom would put on my like iPod, back in 2009. She doesn't want me to listen to any like actual music, so she like puts this like Kitty Pop on or something.
Yeah. Now, I think I used the word brave to describe the last episode, and I actually would say the same thing about this episode. I would call this episode brave as well.
But not in the good way.
I just don't think it paid off like the last episode did.
No.
But, some hits, some misses, I guess, when you're taking huge risks like this.
Yeah.
And...
Did you
my notes just say "what the fuck" in all caps, so I think I'm.
Let me look at my notes. Let me see here. I said kind of boring and cringy. Didn't like the art style. Plot is just who cares. The best part of the episodes was like the 2-second shot of the dead clone and battle droids. Yeah, the art style. I didn't really like the chibi art style. It's like just weird. It doesn't look good.
All right, ready to go to 3?
Yeah, let's just not dwell on this one.
Yeah, I think we've said everything that needs to be said. So episode 3 is the twins. Oh, is that in the thumbnail? It looks like maybe like Luke. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, huh? Oh, these are the twins. It's not Luke and Leia. It's just.
It's not Luke and Leia. Classic.
I love things like this in Star Wars, with just no safety rails on like a 1,000-meter drop.
Hostile architecture at its finest.
Yeah, and it's like you have to walk like 100 meters just without, and if you fuck up, you just die.
Central block B25.
So this is literally just like the Death Star laser.
It's yes.
Okay.
Another super weapon in Star Wars? What? Couldn't be.
Where were you planning on going with that, Kare?
To a galaxy far, far away.
I don't know about that.
Power core,
Yeah.
And I'll forget that this ever
Yeah.
happened.
He's gonna be handsome as fuck.
I refuse.
Oh, never mind. Nope.
What do you want? What? Are you planning to turn it over to the Republic?
It was, yeah.
I guess just being in space doesn't matter, right?
No, it doesn't. When I was watching this, maybe I'll save this for the after part, but when I was watching this, I was like, you're just in space right now.
Kare.
And they're talking to each other in space. Seems good.
This is some Dragon Ball shit.
Yeah, this really.
They're like shooting 2 beams at each other until one of the beams is stronger.
She's literally just General Grievous, but with 6 instead of 4. Leave it to Star Wars to uncreatively up the stakes.
He makes it extend. He's got the Viagra lightsaber. Oh, you're gonna love this part. You're gonna love this part, Ben.
It's just like you said.
Oh, does he do the fucking holo maneuver?
He does a mega holdo maneuver.
Oh, okay. It turns into the prism from Terraria. That's cool.
Don't live for someone else. As long as you're alive, then you are free.
As long as we have the power of friendship on our side, we can do anything.
Punch it.
Dude, that's like the ultimate fucking teleports behind you.
Teleports, hyperdrives. I just can't imagine. He's got a spacesuit on. Wait. I just gotta say.
No, that was
okay.
the robot.
No, the robot had a helmet on, even though he doesn't need air. And
No, true. Oh, wait, that's literally the shot from The Last Jedi. This is the same shot.
Oh my god.
PTSD.
PTSD.
All right. Cool.
So what are your thoughts? Initial impressions of the twins?
My notes simply say anime moments because there were
Yeah.
a lot of anime moments in it. What's the term? Is it shonen? Is that the one that's like action anime?
Yeah, that's shonen. This was very
Yeah.
shonen.
Yeah, that's how I would describe it, shonen. It had like a bunch of anime tropes, like the literally like the samurai having a sword and then suddenly being behind someone and they like slowly like that didn't explicitly happen in this, but like the teleporting behind someone did.
Yeah. Or
sorry,
like
go ahead.
we gotta believe in our friends.
Yeah,
we
that's
can't
it.
live for others. You gotta believe in yourself.
Then what was the other thing? Oh, it loses points because it reminded me too much of The Last Jedi with that thing. Didn't like that. I mean, that was the point of it. It was trying to remind you of The Last Jedi, right? Like that was like almost an exact like frame perfect like picture of the holdo maneuver.
But that you got PTSD from that, which is understandable.
Yeah, I certainly
right?
did. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Gurren Lagann or ever heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so this is by Trigger, which is the same people that made Gurren Lagann. And I've actually seen Gurren Lagann, and it's this. Actually, when I researched that today, but when I initially watched this like 2 weeks ago, I was like, this is like Gurren Lagann but Star Wars. So the fact that I saw that it was actually made by the people who made Gurren Lagann was hilarious. Like the way that the fight is done, like just totally over top. Like at the end of Gurren Lagann, they're like literally throwing galaxies at each other and stuff like that. They're like the fights are like they're like bigger than galaxies and they're like throwing like galaxies at each other. Like, so I feel like part of this was just like let's make a crazy fight. Who cares about logic? Like they can breathe in space. Like that was just what they were going for here. That's what I feel.
So wait, is each episode done by a different studio, or are they all been done by the same studio?
No, they're all done by. Well, there's a couple repeats. Like Trigger does another one later on, but most of them.
But they're all done by different studios.
Yeah, most of them.
That makes sense because they're all animated. I was like, if they're all done by the same studio, then they must have like hired like different artists or something. Cause like.
Yeah, no, and this is like the same art style as Gurren Lagann, which I actually like this art style. It was like the plot of this was just way too over the top, in my opinion. What did you like the whole like extendo lightsaber?
Yeah,
he's standing on top of the ship when it goes into hyperspace.
That it was some fucking goofy shonen shit, and I mean, I guess that's probably what the appeal of that episode is, just being goofy shonen shit.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
The like 6 lightsaber Grievous thing was funny. I like that.
Yeah, if anything, this was like funny. Like the one before this was just kind of like we have to laugh at it because it's so cringe. But this was just like if you don't take it seriously,
exactly,
it's okay. You know, let's just get into the next one. This one I actually do like. It's the Village Bride. Yeah, this one's really cool.
I'm ready. It was very anime. I think I've said that a couple times now.
Yeah.
It was not bad. I didn't hate it. I think that was I like I said during the episode, I really liked the backgrounds a lot. The character design I'm like 50-50 on. The backgrounds were great.
Yeah, it's very standard character design. I think the backgrounds were nice. I liked the way that they were drawn, like kind of it was like minimalist but like with really nice colors. I don't know I'm very bad at describing art, but they were good.
No, me too, I get it.
When I first watched this, I thought it was like pretty like A tier, but now it's like a little bit more average, like coming down on a second watch. I don't know. I did like I thought the music in the episode was very good all around though, like very ethereal.
The music was really good. The atmosphere is really good. I like the vibe of like the camp and everything. I think that they like really nailed the setting and everything. The story itself was like fine, I guess. It was like pretty boilerplate. The fucking anime teleports behind you shit. I thought that was funny.
You are already dead.
Yeah, literally.
Goku teleport sound effect. Bad guy just drops down, split in half.
Exactly. No, I thought that was good. Was there? I had another comment. Where are my notes? Oh yeah, you made the comment partway through about stopping the blaster with the force. Honestly, I think that that's sort of just here to stay now because it sort of adds a new layer of you can add suspense to a scene. So like because before if you heard the blaster fire, then it was like, okay, well they're like either getting shot or they're gonna make it so they miss, I guess. But that's like
or it's deflected. I guess.
Yeah, but now you hear the blaster shot, and then it can like wait a few seconds for like suspense, and then like it can show that it's like being held. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I guess that you can do that now.
Yeah, now they introduced that in Force Awakens, and now it's that's just gonna be like we've already seen it like 2 times. This is like the second time. The first, I think, in the last one they stopped like the stun. Oh
yeah.
In the twins, yeah, they stopped the stun bolts.
Yeah.
All right, well then let's go on to the next one. I think the next one is. All right, well then let's go on to the next one. I think the next one is
The
Ninth Jedi.
This was my favorite so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they don't pull some fucking rock and roll shit or whatever.
Surprise!
Just music. Yeah.
Holy shit, that's metal as fuck. I just realized that they're slingshotting those things up into the rings and then pulling the asteroids back down.
It's really long.
That's what me
So
when
you can change the length of
women.
Me when women, your mom.
Yeah.
Actually. Man, this guy's voice actor is like the one bad part of this right now.
That's sick. I love that, like sliding backwards like that. Yo, wait, what? Hold on.
No, you're all.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was, yeah, I like that one. That's one of my favorite ones.
One of their's favorite. There's another spicy one coming up, eh?
Yeah, I don't want to say like my favorite or not my favorite, so that you don't.
No, true.
I like the fact that it was set like in the far future, right? And apparently that lightsabers are not. It's some sort of like kind of thing that's not like ancient artifacts or like lost technology. I think that's a kind of cool concept. Although
Very cool concept, I agree.
It's it's kind of weird because like there's just this guy like on a planet that's making them. So how lost? Yeah. So how lost are they? But I mean, honestly, like this is one I'd like to watch like a movie or like a TV show, like more than 20 minutes. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on.
I was just gonna say, I think the biggest like limiting factor of this episode was the fact that it was only 20 minutes, right? Like, it seems like they had like a longer story to tell, and they had to condense it to 20 minutes, which it worked okay. Like, I think it was good. It just it felt like a lot of questions were sort of left unanswered. And I agree with you that doing one like in the far future was sort of this like mysterious problem, because that also, I mean, I know it's not canon, but like, if it were, it would leave me wondering, like, oh, well, that's cool. Like, what happened in the last like 4,000 years that now like lightsabers are like a myth more than anything, right? Like that's sort of an interesting. It raises that question.
Yeah, and also like I know during the fight scenes you're like, I don't know about this because I know you, Ben. I know what you're thinking. You're like, how is this girl holding her own, right?
I mean, I don't really care that much because it's like non-canon, but like I value power consistency very highly. Okay, whenever somebody like can fucking demolish in a fight when they shouldn't be able to, I think that's like lazy. But I don't really care that much in this. But yeah, you caught me on that for sure.
But my headcanon is that like since lightsabers are so rare, and she probably has more experience with them with her dad being a lightsaber smith than these actual Sith do, probably, right?
Yeah, that's like definitely possible for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about the fight, like choreography and stuff? I thought
it was cool. I think you just slice his head right off. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, he just like sliced this guy, and then his body did like the anime thing where it's like slides up. And and when people went down, they had like red, like it wasn't like blood, but it was like a big burn mark, right? Which is like
exactly.
It's good. I wish they would do that more, like because a lot of the Disney stuff, like people die from a lightsaber in like a super PG way. It's like, dude, you can like show a burn mark or something, right? Like
no, exactly.
Like kids are not that stupid that they get like scared by a little bit of like a burn mark or something.
Mm-hmm. No, I couldn't agree more. I think that was a good decision that they made to do that.
Yeah. What did you think about the twist?
Oh yeah, I was completely caught off guard by that because I looked away for a second and I looked back and they all had red lightsabers and I'm like, huh? Did I miss something?
I know, man.
No, that's awesome.
That was so, and like for 20 minutes, the fact that they had like a twist that was actually good, like that's pretty
Yeah.
impressive to me.
No,
Like,
I super didn't see that coming.
because when the guy in the Margrave looked so sus. Like he had this mask, red eyes. When I was doing my first watch, I was like writing in my notes like this guy is so completely obviously evil.
yeah,
But he
was.
was the good. Yeah, you said he's like you don't trust
I
him.
said
right?
at the beginning, I'm like, well, that looks like the good guy, or like something like sarcastically, but like, yeah, no, I mean, I guess don't judge a book by its cover, right? There you go. They just successfully taught me a lesson. I don't know.
They subverted your expectations, Ben.
That's it. Subverted.
They subverted your expectations successfully.
My expectations were successfully subverted. Absolutely.
All right, you ready to move on to the next one here?
Yeah, T0B1.
This one is
Silent
it's a it's a weird one.
This animation.
It's very. You like it or not? I don't know. I like it.
I'm not sure yet.
I like the art.
Turn for a tune.
New toy design.
Yeah,
Then we can play.
in like a crypt
So is this the force?
with like
Damn.
blocks.
Please
cultured.
don't deactivate me.
Damn, that's pretty dark, man. He's like, please don't deactivate.
Don't. I'm sorry I broke into your basement. Please don't fucking kill me. It's like true.
I do like all these droids.
Who is it?
Bro, this guy knows what Jedi are, but he doesn't know what a Sith
A
is.
Jedi killer?
Cringe, right?
His
He doesn't even know the lore, man. Hell.
He hasn't read fucking Wikipedia.
This robot's hacking, bro.
Yeah, aim hacks. Literally aimbot.
He just downloaded all the Jedi moves.
Okay. Alright. Go off, little man.
I mean, I don't really have much to say about this one, I'll be honest. Like, I like the art.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I like the art. I mean, I think it's kind of inspired by. Man, I feel like I watched this like when I was a very young kid. But you know, Astro Boy or whatever it is.
Yeah, I remember Astro Boy.
Yeah, I feel like it was inspired a little bit by Astro Boy, like just the whole
I
way it
agree,
looks and
yeah.
everything. Like I think there was like a professor or something in Astro Boy that died, and then that's why Astro Boy. Spoilers for like a 20-year-old TV show or something, but like, wasn't that why he like suddenly got like super strong or something in Astro Boy?
I don't think I've seen Astro Boy, but that sounds right. But I was gonna say I don't hate the like idea of sorry. I don't hate the idea of the way that they did the like anybody can become a Jedi thing, or like the like general broad message of like you don't need to do what's like expected of you sort of thing, you know, like the really like wholesome sort of like progressive message. Like, you know, they took it to the extreme here, like a droid becoming a Jedi that would like never work in like regular canon, but it's like, you know, don't limit yourself to what you think would like regularly work, you know, do whatever you want to do sort of thing. And I like that message.
Yeah, I think this is one of those situations where like it being non-canon and they can just do whatever they want. It's good. Like this is more. I think this is like an episode that's more for like younger audiences.
Absolutely, and I think that's like a good message for that, for sure.
This is something I'd be like, 6-year-old kid, watch this. You know, they'd probably enjoy it a lot. You know, I think it's a little bit not for us, but you know, I think it was okay. But
no, yeah, I have no hatred towards that episode. I think it was like maybe a little boring, but like, you know,
yeah, like that's kind of more towards, you know, stuff that's for very young people tends to be more boring the older you get. So I think that's kind of what that was going towards. All right, so let's go on to the next one. I think it's
okay. The next one is The Elder.
Oh, this one, yeah, this one's pretty good too.
This is one that I read online. People liked, so I am getting into it.
Do you have any idea?
Does this guy give you? Have you seen Death Note?
Visited so far?
No.
Let me think.
Okay, never mind.
Who's he remind you of?
Say off the top
This guy gives me like L vibes,
Well,
like the detective.
he must hold the Jedi.
I know a little bit
record for most
about L.
planets visited.
You know what he gives me? Have you seen My Hero
Based on the stories
Academia?
I've heard anyway.
Yeah,
He gives,
Eraserhead guy.
he's so much like
Must have.
Eraserhead.
Controlling this area was
Yeah, I
his
actually
plan.
need to. I was just watching a recap of that because I haven't
until
watched in
you
like 3
decided
years,
to
and I
go
want
and
to catch up.
volunteer us to do it. Better idea. Why don't we split up? I can
Never a
answer
good
numbers.
idea.
And Master,
Ever.
you
Don't split
watch the ship.
Don't split the party.
Did you pick
Never
the
split
mountain
the
because
party.
you're more likely to encounter. But I've got a bad feeling about this.
Huh?
They said the line. They said the line, Bart.
There's a Vamga carcass.
He's got two little daggers, cuties.
Just little bitty lightsabers.
He's kissing him. Give him a little kiss.
Go for a little peck.
Oh, its eyes.
Were they challenged? Oh, how
I love this guy's like
met you
whole
long ago when I was
crazy
much
old man
stronger.
persona. Got him.
That's dope. Okay, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked it. My thoughts, my general thoughts, are some of the exposition is like a little bit too long-winded. And with the monotone, like I know the monotone voices like suit the characters, but with like 2 minutes of exposition, it's like sometimes you're like falling asleep. Like they could have gotten to the point a lot better, you know. But
No, I understand completely.
and they also played it a little bit too safe with that kid not dying. Like why would the he, first of all, he sliced him. That's why he got defeated, right? And then there was like no slice. Like why did he fall over if he wasn't injured?
No, yeah, exactly.
And then also, why would this like completely psychotic dark side guy like leave this kid just
Not
like
just, like,
alive?
Yeah, not just like execute him. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, you're totally right.
surely he'd want to like kill him to bring out like more of the dark side from his opponent and make it more
yeah.
satisfying to kill him or something like that, you know?
100%. No, I agree with that entirely. Again, yeah, Star Wars just always, most of the time does that, where there's like no consequences to the actions. Rogue One did a good job of actually having consequences to the actions. I think that was like well done. But in general, I think that's something Star Wars struggles with.
Yeah, that's why Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Aside from it also just being very like non-Jedi focused, where
Yeah.
I mean I like Jedi, but it was really cool in Rogue One. There was like, you know, that one scene where
just enough
Force,
to tickle your balls
Yeah.
at the end there, you know.
and that was like one of the best scenes as well. So Rogue One
Yeah,
was
it was.
amazing.
Great
But
movie. One thing fuck, I'm gonna sound so pretentious saying this, okay? I know like literally one poem, okay? So just calm down whenever I say this.
Okay.
The whole like power doesn't last forever thing. Are you familiar with Percy Shelley's Ozymandias? It's like
Yep. No, that's a great
yeah,
one.
no, look on my works, you mighty in despair. And then I don't know. I think that's a great, you know, just like a different representation of it, just like one in Star Wars. I think it's really cool.
No, that was one of my comments too. I was gonna say like I love the whole like I didn't defeat him, time did. Like
Yeah.
that's cool. Like the idea like this guy when he was at his like height would have been like
Mhm.
just destroyed these two, right?
Exactly.
I think that's really cool. And also just kind of going to that the whole like persona that this guy had, like he's kind of like a golem, like crazy, like I don't know, like I feel like I was thinking this when we were watching. Like there was something in the back of my head that he was like reminding me of a character from like a Disney movie or something, like one of the bad guys, like you know how they have like a lot of those like, you know, kind of crazy like bad guys. He was really reminding me of somebody, but I can't remember.
I
don't know.
also don't know what you're talking about, but I know, like, I get the vibe. I understand where you would get that vibe.
Maybe-
I don't know my Disney well enough to be able to.
Well, I don't know if it's like a specific thing or maybe he's just like got that like trope of like the crazy evil old man like really down.
Right.
Like that was like a really good depiction of that like I guess character archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I really like that episode though. I thought that was a good episode.
yeah, I would say that's like one of the better ones. I think if they had they could have made a little bit better use of the of their time by like cutting down the exposition a little bit. But if they made this into like a 6 episode long thing, I would be like down to see that because this is like
Oh, yeah.
one of the only Clone Wars era ones here. So I would love to see more. And it's also like, you have so much to do when you have like 2 Jedi just patrolling the Outer Rim. Like you can just come up with
Mhm.
any story, right?
For sure. No, I agree. There's like infinite potential there, effectively.
So which one is next, Ben?
Lop and Acho.
This guy. He looks like a JoJo villain.
Officer? Ocho, do you know this
We
guy?
were aware of Yasaburo's.
Oh, he totally does.
We wanted to avoid
He
escalation.
is such a JoJo villain.
Ocho here to help us out.
That guy's just a straight ass human. It's not like he's an alien. He's just got dyed skin.
His head has just jumped off the building. Like,
Yeah,
fuck this shit, I'm out.
She just splats. Yeah, you're dead, okay? Those wires would just cut you in half in real life. I do like all this, like, all the backgrounds and stuff are really good in this. Very cyberpunk.
That's a cool weapon.
That
It's
is
like a big
cool
ass shuriken.
yeah.
I love the pink cherry blossom in the background.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was a great scene. Shot right there. Everybody can use the force.
Yeah, no worries. I like that one a lot. I thought that the art, that was like one of the better ones artistically. I really liked it a lot. A lot of good, like as you said, background moments where it was like, oh, I could see that as like a desktop wallpaper sort of thing, you know. I love this is like a personal thing. I never really cared much for the idea of like you have to stick, like, you know, no matter how terribly your family treats you, like that's the most important thing. So I sort of like what they did here. It's like, oh, my daughter just like kind of ran off and is like, evil now, well, fuck her. Like, you know, just because we're not blood related doesn't mean you don't get like the family heirloom now. You're like you're functionally like more my daughter than that other one is, right? So, you know, I like that as like a concept. And yeah, I don't know. I think that was well done here.
Yeah, I think like found family stories where it's like those are always really sweet, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
And it's also good that they didn't like the dad wasn't like stubbornly not like giving the sword or something. First of all, because they have 20 minutes, but also that's just like, whenever that happens, you're just like frustrated. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, this person's lived with you for like 7 years, you know, this is kind of unbelievable that you don't like them, you know?
Exactly, yeah, no.
I totally agree with you with the backgrounds. Like, I loved like how like the city had this like cyberpunk type vibe. Like there was like the old architecture mixed with like the Star Wars like machinery, and there was like all these scenes where they were like running through like street markets and stuff like that.
Definitely.
I thought that was really cool, and like, you know, how it was like close to the beach, so it had like this kind of like fishing village type vibe mixed with like this sci-fi vibe as well. Like you have the Star Destroyer like out in the bay. Oh man.
And
like,
the Japanese like cherry blossom sort of thing.
Yeah, at the end when they were like fighting in the hangar, and just outside the hangar is apparently like the Imperial like Rose Garden or whatever. Like there's like this awesome like they're fighting in the like the leaves are blowing by. Beautiful, awesome.
Yeah, very beautiful.
I gotta say, like when I was like when I saw this one, it was like I was most skeptical about it, because like I thought like, okay, there's like a rabbit person as a main character, like this could be really cringe, but they actually did it really well. This is like one of my favorite episodes, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think that one was really good. I agree. That's also going to be in my top couple.
Yeah, I think like this is one that could have benefited from a little bit more time, because I haven't, like when I first watched it, I thought it was okay, but on a rewatch and like having seen some other people talking about it, I think like the characterization, you know, would have just benefited from more time, because the sister goes from being like super nice, like really enthusiastically good person to like completely fucking evil off the charts like in 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah, it's actually one of the biggest criticisms people had of the prequels was that Anakin was unrealistic in that sense, and that he was like 1 minute he was like this like sweet like wholesome like kind of awkward teen boy, and then like the next he was like murdering a room of children, and it's like okay, and then the Clone Wars sort of patched that up. But yeah, I get the same thing here.
Yeah, this is one I definitely like make a movie about this, or make like you know, like a 1-season show about this. Like I would watch that. I would love it. Yeah, I think we're almost ready for the last one here. It's Akakiri.
Akakiri. A Jedi returns to his forbidden love to help defend her kingdom from a Sith-like shogun. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
All the way here by himself? Seems kind of suspicious.
Sus.
He said the Among Us word.
Among Us.
From what I can tell, you can't seem to fight.
I see.
She reminds me of Padme.
Why do we need guides to lead us back
But like
to the
ugly.
palace?
Things have changed.
That's a good shot. I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
God, that characters just don't look good.
You're not a fan?
Princess has disappeared.
No.
He's just overreacting.
They look like Play-Doh.
You should get some rest.
Fortunately,
They give me like Ocarina, no, not Ocarina of Time, like Spirit Tracks or like Phantom Hourglass vibes, like a
What are-
Nintendo DS Zelda game. It's all red. That's cool. All right, well,
So what did you think about that one? I think that one's kind of weird.
it was a little weird. I think that it was like, it was fine. It wasn't like bad.
Yeah. What did you feel like about the animation?
I thought the animation was just okay. Like it, okay. A lot of them look like fuck. This is like gonna be kind of maybe a deep cut, maybe not. You know, from that fucking, it was like, oh, what's the guy's name? He's from like Legend of Zelda. He goes like, lamp, oil, bombs. You want it? It's yours, my friend. As long as you have enough rupees. Sorry, Link, I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little richer.
Is
You know
that a
guy?
YouTube? Is that a YouTube skit or something? Or
No, it's from like an old Legend of Morshu. That's his name.
oh, is
It's
it
an
is
old
it is it
Legend-
the like point and click one where it's like 2D drawn?
Yeah, here.
And he's like
okay.
this guy. He's like this guy with a like a hat or whatever, like a red hat.
Yeah, he's like this like guy wearing orange. He looks like he's drawn in MS Paint. I sent a picture to you on Messenger of the guy.
Let me take a look.
This guy. A lot of the characters just sort of look like this guy.
Oh yes, this guy. I'll put him up in editing. Okay, I know what this is. Yeah. This guy. Everybody's seen this guy in the meme. It's like the it's from the meme where it's like people like fans of this explaining. Yeah. No, you're right. They did look like that. I was saying during when we were watching, they looked like Play-Doh. A lot of them. I didn't like how the characters looked, but the backgrounds were often very good. I gotta say that. The
I could
characters.
see people really liking the art style. Again, it wasn't necessarily my thing, but I could definitely see people liking it.
I do have like two like gripes though. The lightsabers, the way they animated those was just awful. Like, you know, like they had like they had like the frames. You know, like as it moved down in the arc, it was like it like hurt my eyes seeing it that way.
It was like faster than the rate of animation of everything else. It was like on a different
No,
like
it was
refresh rate almost.
yeah, it was like no, it was like slower, right? Like or something like that, right?
Was it
Like-
slower? I thought it was faster. Maybe it was slower.
Well, I mean, if it was faster, would it appear like as individual frames or?
Well, like not fast enough to not appear as individual frames, but faster than the animation itself. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it was the.
Well, either way, I just thought it was kind of weird. And then at some point the music was weird, like with the drums, like it didn't match up with what was going on. Like it was just like super high intensity drums. I get he was like going through like emotional stress or whatever, but like at some points it was like, please stop. Like this is actually making me like my head feel not good, you know? Also, I talked about this, but we need to change the way I phrased it. That the name of this episode, Akakiri, means Robloxing yourself in Japanese. So that kind of like what it relates to symbolically to what happened with going to the dark side, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was complaining earlier that Star Wars doesn't like typically like allow anything bad to happen to the main character, but they did there, right? Like they let him like go to the dark side, which is like, you know, that's a consequence of action that was taken in the thing. So like, you know, that's good. There wasn't like any sort of like ass pull at the end there where he was like power of friendship, lol. I'm gonna.
Well, they did ass pull with reviving the girl, right?
They did. You gotta, yeah. They get partial credit. They get partial credit.
More damn sequel powers working their way into our other aspects of Star Wars. God damn it.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's not canon, so.
Exactly.
Why didn't they just revive Padme, dude?
Why didn't they just revive Batman, bro? Easy.
I think it was okay. It was just kind of like a, okay, he's bad now type ending. I mean, I do like that it was like all red. You pointed out like it was all red, and I think that was pretty cool, but I'm not really sure. I guess it was like an okay episode, but I'm not really sure like what the message was. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like the same as Anakin in the prequels, right?
Yeah, there wasn't really a message, I don't think. I think it was just like cool lightsaber fight and then like a anti-redemption arc sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's like if you watch the it's like, yeah, just watch the prequels if you want to get the message from this. Yeah, I also want to say that the two old guys, I was saying during when we were watching it that they reminded me of somebody, but it was kind of like they were, you know, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Have you watched it yet?
I haven't seen it, but yeah.
You know Uncle Iroh, right?
Yeah, I know Uncle
Yeah,
Iroh.
they reminded me of Uncle Iroh a lot. So
yeah, I see it. I see it now that you say it, for sure.
Yeah, kind of whimsical, but also, well, they lacked his wisdom, but they were like whimsical in that kind of old person way, right?
They were like goofy in sort of an old man way. Yeah, I like it.
All right, guys, so we finished watching all the episodes now, and I think the best way to just kind of like summarize our thoughts on the series as a whole is through a tier list, just like rating the episodes, because that'll give us like a good idea of like the balance of like what is actually good here versus what's stuff that, you know, we don't really want to see in the future. So let's just start off here. This is actually the one that we just, oh, it's like in backwards order up to a point. Let's just start here with Akakiri, I guess. So what do you think about this one, Ben?
So I thought this one had some good. It wasn't the worst one. It wasn't the best one either. It sort of was. It had some elements that I kind of thought were okay. I liked the sort of darker ending. I like it when Star Wars does that. That's sort of the biggest plus I can give it. The fights themselves were kind of cool too. I know you were commenting how you didn't love the like style of lightsaber.
Yeah.
which I can get behind. But the fights themselves I thought were quite nice as well. I would put this one a little bit below average personally.
Like a C or a B?
Yeah, I would call this a C probably.
Yeah. I like I said before when we were talking in our post watching discussion, I didn't really like the way the characters and the lightsabers looked, but I do think like some of the story elements were cool, like how they like took the girl, I don't even remember her name, kind of, and then like his vision came true because they put like the mask on her and like he accidentally killed her, right? Like I think that's like a cool little twist on what we've already seen before, kind of in the prequels.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was good. It just wasn't.
Yeah,
great.
I feel like some of the time was wasted. Like there was like this whole part where they're in the mountain and like the guy got lost and then they found him and it's like, okay, so like what does that mean? Like what does that like what does that add to this story? Because those guys in the end didn't like, they were kind of like, oh, we're funny, the comic relief, but other than that, like you only got 20 minutes here, use it as best you can. Like they could have like used like 30 more seconds or a minute more on like the ending part if they had taken that part out and like explained more about this guy's like turn to the dark side, right? So.
Exactly. No, I think you're totally right.
Yeah.
So next one, I need to pull up an episode list. Give me 1 second. This was Lop and Acho. This one I would.
It's definitely near the top. Like.
Yeah, it's near the top for sure. What do you think?
So when I first watched this, I thought it was like an S tier, but I'm not sure anymore. Like, because I think there was. The problem with this, like we kind of said in the discussion, was that it needed to be longer. Like it was just like too fast. Like the main bad guy, the girl Ocho, she goes from being like this like bubbly little girl to like completely like 100% Empire sympathizer, like putting literally like smearing her eyes with blood like in 2 minutes, like, you know.
And I remember I pointed out during the episode itself that a lot of people criticized the prequels for a similar thing when it comes to Anakin's character arc, where like 1 minute he's like buddy with Obi-Wan, they're like bros, and he's like a cool dude, and then like and he's like an awkward teenager, and then the next minute he just like murders a room of kids, sort of thing. The Clone Wars sort of like fleshed that out a little bit, but originally that was one of the main criticisms of the prequels that I can remember. Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, like it's harder, like. I'm kind of torn here because it's like, do we give it a pass because it's 20 minutes, or is that like something we can't give a pass on, right? Because they knew they had 20 minutes, so
yeah.
I think like I kind of no problem. I thought like when I first watched it, I was like, this is S tier, but now like it's like really in between A and S tier for me.
Yeah, I think that I think we can kind of. We sort of just have to, because one of the criticisms with the prequels that it seemed like no time had passed at all between Anakin being cool and Anakin murdering kids, and this time though we sort of saw it's like, oh, there's like a big time lapse, like anything could have happened in that period.
Yeah, so it was like 7 years.
Maybe it gets a pass on that.
Yeah. Honestly,
I would put it in A tier personally, but
I think
if you want to put it in S, I wouldn't hate on you for that.
No, I think I'm gonna put it in A tier. Well, we'll see. I hope we have some S tier ones here.
I think that one might have been the best one, so I'm not sure if we'll have any S's, but we'll see.
All right. Okay. So how about this? We put it in S because this is like the S tier for Visions. You know?
Yeah. Maybe. If we're normalizing it afterwards, then perhaps that's how we should do it.
Yeah. It's just like, should this be like based on like all of Star Wars? Would we like put Rogue One next to this or something? I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, fair enough. We should probably normalize it with its own self. So in that case, I would say put it in S tier for sure.
Okay, yeah, but definitely, you know, S tier. We've talked about the problems of this, so S tier is not perfect. It's just pretty good. Although, all right, we'll get to that when we come to it. But let's see, Toby or TOB1.
I definitely close to the bottom. Probably D tier. Yeah.
I think we're gonna put it in D tier.
I did the one like redeeming thing. I mean, the animation was kind of cool, and then also I mentioned during the episode that I thought the idea of like, you know, you don't have to fit the mold, do whatever you want, sort of thing, is like kind of a cool message. So like, you know, who says droids can't be Jedi? You know, go for it. Like, live your dream. You know, and that's like a cool message and that's something you wouldn't be able to do in like regular Star Wars canon. Because I mean, even me, like if they like did something like that in like actual Star Wars canon, I would be like mad. I'd be like, what the fuck? Droids can't use the Force. But like, you know, it's like a fun little tale.
Yeah, I think the problem is that this is like really targeted towards like the younger demographic, like 7 to 8 year olds, right? Like people who are not really, they just want to see like cool stuff, you know? Like, and they would identify with this character more because it's like very clearly a very like supposed to be a really young person.
Yeah, and some of
So-
the animation was cool too. So
No,
like, you know, that's
I really like the animation in this. Like, in not necessarily like, I don't know if I'd like a full Star Wars thing in this animation.
yeah.
But if I saw like another property using this animation that like made sense for it, and it was like a full length movie, like that movie would probably like have like amazing art. I would like to watch that. But
I agree entirely.
yeah. Now for the next one here, we're gonna have to add a new category, which is the Jar Jar tier. I think you won't disagree that the Tatooine Rhapsody goes in the Jar Jar tier.
In the Rancor pit, yeah.
Oh wait,
Your
no,
Jar Jar pit.
this has to be the Rancor pit actually.
The Rancor pit, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to think of a nice thing to say about that episode. Like, I guess
There,
like,
there's nothing. I really can't think of much nice things to say about it.
there was like a couple really nice shots. I like the one where there was like the cave and then the slave one and then like this big like void between it, and like that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm really trying hard here.
I mean, they had an episode that was focused on music, and the music wasn't good. Like that's just a crime, you know? Like
yeah, it was like yeah.
it was like Kitty Pop, you know?
I don't really have very many nice things. I mean, actually, wait, what did I say? I said that it was very brave, but for but
The wrong
bravery
reasons.
did not pay off like it did in
No.
some of the other episodes.
Yeah, they rolled you know, a wisdom saving throw, and they got a 1. You know,
Can't win them all.
critical failure. You know, sometimes you roll a 20, and sometimes you roll a 1. You know.
Yeah.
All right. The duel.
The duel was good. There wasn't like a whole lot of dialogue in it. It was mostly just, as it says, a duel. It was. I'm sort of split between B and A because like. It was very boilerplate, like the story itself. It was like this rogue like wandering ninja comes and like defends this village from invaders sort of thing, and then like has a soft spot for like one of the village kids, so like gives them like part of his treasure or spoils or whatever. You know, that's like very like
Yeah.
like you know
It's like been done since like the 70s as like the
yeah.
main- I have seen. Sorry, I'll after you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, and like, just because it's simple though doesn't mean it's bad. Like, I think that I did like this one. I enjoyed it. I think the animation style was so crazy that it worked. This is the example of like something I would say where it's like, oh, this was really brave, and like mean that in a good way. Like it was. They took a lot of risks with this episode. And I think like almost all of them paid off. Like especially with the animation style, with everything being in black and white, except for like a couple things. I think I'm talking myself into putting it in the A tier for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say A tier as well. Like, it's a simple story, but just like the animation style, like it's really cool how like everything is black and white, but then like blaster bolts start happening and they're like yellow and there's like red, and then like there's some random parts like there's like these Christmas lights or like little like machinery lights that are also lit up, and it's just very interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the music, I think we also talked about was really good in this as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that the music in this one, I think this had the best music of any of them. This one was incredible with the music. The Duel, like it sounded exactly like Duel of the Fates without being Duel of the Fates. And then, like we said earlier, it sounded a little bit like The Witcher too, which we both like the music from.
Mhm. And then, yeah, and then at the end when he like kills the like Inquisitor or whatever, and he's like praying at the shrine, like there was a really good like musical note there with like the person singing in the background, and like I think like one of those like very low like wooden flute sounds.
Yeah.
And that was like a really, I mean, it's kind of like cheesy in how like samurai movie it is, but like it was good, you know, it just worked, you know.
Yeah. No,
All
I
right.
agree entirely.
I think A tier then.
Yeah.
The Elder.
It was like better than average, I think. It had a nice message of oh shoot. Right, it was the Ozymandias one. Yeah, I sort of liked the like well, I guess it's not really so much of a nice message as sort of just like a wisdom reality, right? Of like, you know, in his prime he would have beat us, but you know, nothing lasts forever sort of thing. And you know, that's sort of just wisdom that we all probably shouldn't always dwell on because it'll drive us insane, but you know, just be aware of.
Yeah, I also like the whole aspect of like I didn't defeat him, time did. I think it was cool because like it was the Jedi being wise and saying like I'm not even that powerful, right? Like it's kind of like like there are some
humble.
Jedi. Yeah, like well, literally some of the Jedi were like not humble, right? Like Master Mace,
True.
like if Mace Windu was there, he'd be like, that guy was a punk ass bitch, you know? Like
I fucked that guy up.
yeah, like but that guy, you know, he had a lot of wisdom there, and I like to see the interaction between the Padawan and the apprentice, right? And he like the whole message of like someday I'm gonna be like weak and you're gonna be strong too. I mean, that didn't actually happen because Order 66, but I think this episode does suffer from like we were talking about this during our discussion, but some of the pacing's a little bit too slow. Like there's like a lot of just standing around talking with the monotone voices. And not like the monotone voices are bad because that's like a personality that's like totally valid, right? For somebody to be like very like composed, you know. But like when it goes on for like 2.5 minutes of like with nothing else happening, and this is only like a 20-minute thing.
Yeah,
it was that.
I'd
that
put it
could
in
have been.
B tier.
I'm thinking B tier.
I think B is good. We got a good distribution.
We got a perfect distribution right now.
Let's fuck it up with whatever the next one is.
This one is, I think, I'm just gonna say it right now. I think this is an S tier category contender.
I think so too. I liked it a lot. The plot twist was good. The fights were good. The general story was good, although it was a bit weird with the like one Jedi or the one guy knowing how to like forge swords when like it was like a lost art or whatever. The one weakness or like one of the bigger weaknesses of this episode, I think this is truer with this episode than any other episode, that it wasn't long enough. Like there was just a lot of shit that like could have definitely been like, again, I think this could have been like an 1.5, 2 hour movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's like one of the main problems, right? Like maybe you could have seen this girl growing up a little bit more so that we have like a little bit more explanation of like why she's like naturally good with a lightsaber.
Good, yeah.
But I mean, to be honest, like you can kind of like I said in the discussion again, like you could kind of argue that because she grew up with like the one lightsaber smith in the whole galaxy, apparently, like she might be like the one person who actually has experience with a lightsaber compared to all these Sith. But imagine if we got like an hour-long movie or like 6 episodes, like a mini series of this. Like that would be so cool.
Yeah, and I love the foreshadowing early on of like, oh, this lightsaber, like with like depending on your connection with the Force, it'll be different, and it's like that foreshadowing of then like. And I remember like listening to that, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be some shit happening later on where that's like super relevant. Then that plot twist where they're all red is like, oh.
Yeah, like the fact that they actually did a good plot twist in a 20-minute episode, like hats off to you guys. Like,
no, yeah,
that's kind of hard to do.
Coming at all.
Especially for people like us who've like seen a lot of media, to actually pull off something that like surprised us. It's definitely a lot harder to do that, and very commendable. Also, I just thought like the fighting was pretty good in this. I think we mentioned like the fact like there was pretty good like lightsaber choreography. Like people actually got sliced and burned instead of like the PG shit. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The Aesopian like fable like message of this episode was like, don't judge a book by its cover, right? Because all the like guys that looked like they were good were like bad, and then the one guy that was like very obviously looked evil was like a good guy, and it was like, oh, okay, dope.
I wrote in my notes, and you said this when we were watching, like that guy in the hologram looks so suspicious, right? He looks sus. And like then they literally, and they did it on purpose, right? Because he had like a mask and like red eyes, right?
Yeah.
They totally caught us.
Yeah.
Well,
I
think we're not going to dispute that it's like S tier, probably above Lop and Ocho, right?
Yeah, I think it was my favorite episode. Yeah. What's next?
The twins. Oh boy.
The twins was just like the goofiest, like shonen, like over the top, like action anime shit. It definitely loses a tier for reminding me that The Last Jedi exists. I think probably C for me. I think it was definitely better than T0. What is that? T0B1 or whatever.
Yeah, Toby.
It was probably about as good as Akakiri. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say even like lower than Akakiri, because for me, I think like the people who like this episode, they're like, it's just dumb action, but I don't really like action that's dumb. You know, like I want more like action that makes sense and is like, holy shit, like look what they just did that makes actual sense.
So like, I just stuck a crystal in my chest, now I have 6 arms all with lightsabers. Then this guy's like, I just tactically reloaded my lightsaber and now I have like this this beam. Yeah.
It's literally a Death Star beam coming out of my lightsaber, and I'm gonna stand on top of my ship while it goes into hyperspace and cut this bitch. And I'm not even gonna cut the girl. I'm gonna have such accuracy with my extendo lightsaber that I just slice her chest, and the lightsaber comes out. Oh yeah, and oh yeah, and by the way, we're all in space with like no helmets or anything here.
But no, I think you're right. I think it's probably a little below Akakiri.
Yeah, I mean they were just going for ridiculous. I think they just wanted to make a cool fight scene to show off like how good they are at animating things, like the studio who did this. So I don't think it was like it's just it was intentionally that way, and I just think it didn't vibe with us too well. It wasn't like they accidentally did it badly, you know. And then the last one is the Village Bride here.
Oh, so, that one was good. That one was really I liked that one was the one with the really nice backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Let me check my list here. Yeah, that one could have used a bit more explanation as to why things were going the way they were. Actually, no. I take that back. They actually did explain that later in the episode.
Yeah, like with the Force.
They wanted it for like hostages or for like.
Oh, right.
So they had like collateral, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They wanted to take the old man, and then the girl. They took the girl instead, the granddaughter.
Yeah, I forgot that they gave that little spiel. Yeah, okay, that makes sense then. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm kind of like. So some parts. Upon rewatching this, like I thought it was an A, but upon rewatching now, I'm thinking like it's somewhere in between B and A because some parts were like really slow, but I did like the art style. Some of the background's really nice, and I did like the whole exploring the Force from another culture's perspective and like the kind of like more mystery to the Force because like this whole planet has like some sort of like connection to the Force, like the whole planet, right? They were like the planet remembers things and. They saw like a Force vision when they were getting married, the two like side protagonists. And I think that's cool because like sometimes like people like over explain the Force. And then sometimes people like create like crazy powers, right? But it's not like it's not like
that happened a few times in this, didn't it?
Yeah, but then it's not super bad for like like a planet to like have this like weird like connection to the Force. Like maybe it's like a wellspring of the Force.
Yeah, well that's like not new in Star Wars. They've been doing that. They did that with Lothal, right, in Rebels. They did that with Dagobah. They did that with
yeah, like the little cave where like they saw like Luke saw Darth Vader, right? Like that when they were getting married and saw like themselves as kids, like that was just like a good version of like that kind of like vision, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they've done like planets being strong with one side of the Force before. Like that's not new. So
yeah, so I like that kind of experimentation. I mean, I think where it falls, I'm not necessarily putting an A yet. I'm just letting go with my mouse, but I think the part where it kind of flopped a little bit, like when I first watched it, like the whole fight scene, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like she like pulled her lightsaber and stuff. But like we actually didn't get to see like the lightsaber at all. Like she didn't actually, it was like a cut. Like she like did the like getting ready to like do like the Genji's charge, you know, from Overwatch, right? And then it just like cut and then the guy has his arm off, right? Like, I mean, it's like cool, you can like kill him in one shot, but I felt like the fight was a little bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, I understand that. I also think it dragged a little bit at some parts, where it's just like, okay, like I understand what's going on here. It's sort of just move on. But like some of the episodes here were like I think too short, and then some of them were like maybe a bit too long. I think this might have been the one that was a little too long.
I think this one, yeah. So maybe B tier.
I think B tier is good, yeah.
So I will say with this one, this is another one I'd actually liked, even though we're putting it at B tier. I think like if they had more time, like to make this into an actual show, this has like potential. Like it's not necessarily like Lop and Ocho where like you can kind of like immediately see the potential, but like if like we don't know anything about this Jedi, right? Like imagine if we had like 6 episodes or whatever. If there was like actual like longer fight scenes, like this could be a cool show, you know, but just like
no, I see that entirely. Despite what I just said about like this one dragging a bit too long, I think that like if they made it into like a full thing, they would have a lot of material to work with for sure.
Yeah, like this, you could see this as like a kind of like filler episode, you know, in like an actual continual.
That's
show,
actually
right?
a great way of looking at that. Like, that's a filler episode in a longer anime. Absolutely.
Yeah, we need to now. We need to go hunting for the lost artifacts of the rest of this anime. All right, well, I think that kind of sums it up. I mean, we have like a pretty good distribution here of good and bad. Like there were 2 like really bad ones. Well, I mean, even Toby is just like not bad, but it's just not for us.
Yeah. No, yeah, Toby would be like great if I was like 8 years old. Like for sure, I would have loved that shit.
Yeah, I think it's like this is where they could have gone. What was that one where it was like the new like sequel trilogy Rebels? Like nobody watched it.
Oh, Resistance. I watched the first season of that. It was so bad. Nothing happened the whole season.
So
Absolutely not a single thing happened.
How does Resistance compare to Toby? Do you think Toby should have been Resistance?
I think they're both like kind of boring.
You know, like Toby could be, you know, like on the kids channels when you were really young, they would have like the main shows, and then they'd have like during the commercials, like they'd have like a thing that would go for like 2 minutes, like a mini show.
Oh,
like
I forgot
Toby,
about that, but yeah, I
like
actually do
you know, like
remember
how like they used to do that, right? Toby could totally be like one of those things where they just put like Toby doing something stupid for like 2 minutes, you know? Like
yeah, that's actually great. Yeah. That's
hire,
actually smart. I never
hire
knew
me,
that.
Disney, hire me.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no. So overall, I think Visions was like a pretty good experiment. I think. Would you be wanting to see a season 2? If Visions?
Yeah, now the real question for me is if they did a season 2, would I want them to do it in a similar way to this, where they like where they did a style animated like The Duel, they did a style animated like Akakiri, or would I want them to do like just a whole new just like range of weird shit, like just try something else entirely? And I think it's the latter. Like I think what I want from any future Visions is just for them to explore like really weird stuff like this.
Yeah. I think so too. I mean, I would also like to see some of this stuff, like we were saying, like make this like a full length thing, right? But also, if you're gonna do that, like please don't keep it not canon, because even some of the stuff in the good things was not canon.
Well, I was just thinking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I guess it could be modified into canon. It's just like they
That's
need to
what I was
be.
thinking. Like for the Ninth Jedi, if they wanted to do something like 4,000 years in the future, where like this is the setup, I think they'd have to change a few elements of it, but like they wouldn't need to include the Ninth Jedi as an episode in its own series. It would just be a series based on this Visions thing. They could make it canon and then like write it so it's consistent with canon.
They could rewrite
I think that
it,
would be
yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, and like La Pinocho, like it also pretty much fits. It's just, I mean, with La Pinocho, it's like kind of like the Jedi proliferation problem, where like the more that is produced, like the more that the Jedi are not actually extinct after Order 66. I mean, they did do it. I should have said this when we were talking, but they did do it in a good way, where like an interesting way, where it's like the lightsaber was passed down like as like a family heirloom, like way even before the Empire, and she just happens to have Force powers too. But like I think the idea of like a Jedi came to this planet like back in like the distant past and like they passed it on, like that's a pretty damn cool idea. So I mean, even then they did a good job with like the kind of avoiding that like Jedi proliferation problem. But yeah, I definitely, I think when it comes to back to the main point, when it comes to seeing more Visions, I would like for the S tier ones, like maybe make a movie about it. And then I'd also think like getting more animation studios, like just like throw something at the wall and we'll see what is awesome and what's not. And it's just like cool experimentation, right?
Yeah. So you say, would you like to see sort of a second season of this?
Yeah, I would. And then I'd also like, I wouldn't mind seeing like the S tier ones like being expanded on as well. Yeah, like why not? Like if Disney has all the money, they can just do this, you know?
Yeah. Well, they are, aren't they? Didn't they just say there's going to be like a Lando show, or am I misremembering that?
Man, I don't know. I haven't been really following. Has it been canceled or something, or like postponed?
It was announced December 10th, 2020. Star Wars Lando is an upcoming series. Yeah. Not a whole lot of info about it yet, but yeah, they're just doing everything. I mean, to be fair, of all of the characters in Star Wars, Lando is one that I would love to see a show about. I think that would be really funny.
No, yeah, I think Lando's a good one. And the actor for him, what's his name? Donald Glover.
Billy Williams? Oh, young Lando, okay.
Yeah, young Lando. He's a pretty good actor. I liked him in Community and stuff. Yeah. All right, well, let's not drag this out too long. I think we are wrapping it up. If you had to like rate Visions out of 10, what would you give it?
If I had to rate it out of 10. So like, oh, that's tricky.
Because it's hard, because we have like a tier list for each individual episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, some of the better ones like are up there, and some of the worst ones are down there. I think like judging it as a whole rather than like, because judging by the sum of its parts would be like averaging like each of the episodes, right? And like, but I think like I would rather judge it as a whole. Like, what did it do? Like, what did it want to do? And I think like judging it as a whole, I liked it. I thought that it was a cool idea. I didn't like love it. I probably won't like watch through all of them again.
Yeah. No.
I,
Maybe 1 or 2 of the episodes, if any.
yeah, probably like holistically like an 8 maybe.
I was thinking that you'd give it a 7, and I'm surprised that you gave it an 8. I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm gonna say like 8 or 7. You know, like 7.5.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, I just think that like I think even though it's not my favorite episode in the series, I think the episode that most like best summarizes this whole thing is actually the first one, the duel. I think like it shows you what this is going to be. It's going to be a bunch of like little skirmishes that have really creative like either art styles or like story concepts, and then it's just going to roll with that for 15 minutes. And I think the duel is like that boiled down to its fundamentals. Personally,
I couldn't have put it better myself. All right, well, I think that wraps up our discussion here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, please subscribe to my channel and go over to Ben's and subscribe as well. We'll have links in the description. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll go over to Jeff's channels, White Beans, and subscribe to his channel. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Have a good one.